What's up, YouTube? So today we got a different type of video. We got a little reaction video. You know what I'm saying? So today you can see this is what we reacting to. We reacting to 4 true OnlyFans horror stories animated. Now before we get into this, I'm just putting a bet right now. I bet you at least out of all 4 of these, 2 to 3 of these, the whole reason the people started doing OnlyFans was to pay off for something. Either for school, medical bills, something. Let's get into it though. Let's get into it.
In my early 20s and was unfortunately unemployed. The stress of not having a job while living with the obligation of having student loans in addition.
What I tell you. Look, I bet the whole reason she started is because she couldn't pay this shit off.
To the monthly payments for my student housing always weighed heavy on my shoulders. I was a student majoring within the medical field, so it was always.
She does not look like no fine shit for real though. This is just animated. They probably doing her bad in real life.
Inevitable that the majority of my time was delegated to schoolwork and applying for jobs online, as I was living off the funds I made from my last retail job. My life at this time was both extremely stressful and depressing, as I would literally live off eating crackers and cheap instant noodle packs. I would even go as far as to sleep hungry sometimes. I remember staying up late one night, as I had a biology exam coming up within a few days. I could recall being overwhelmed from the monotonous material I was drilling into my head when I heard a loud knock on my door. Sarah? Sarah, can you answer the door? It's Charlie. Hey Sarah, you know your rent is due, right?
I'll get it to you by tomorrow. I've just been a little flustered with school.
Don't worry, you can give it to me tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Charlie. You're a lifesaver.
To make it easier on you, I do take other forms of payment, you know.
Oh yeah, you see, yeah. Oh yeah. We already know what he want. He look like he get no ass, so.
I'm good. I'll just pay you tomorrow.
What's wrong, Sarah? I'm just trying to help a pretty little girl like you out. Don't you want my help? Don't worry. It'll only take 5 minutes tops. We'll act like
Minuteman ass nigga.
like nothing ever happened. Imagine
it'll be like
not
nothing
having
ever
to
happened.
worry of paying a single bill again, Sarah, for just a measly 5 minutes of your time. Did I ever tell you that you look just as beautiful as my daughter?
I said I'm good.
Hell no. Oh, fuck no. Fuck no. You can tell, nah, this nigga weird. So, fuck weird ass nigga? So you say you would fuck your daughter? What the fuck, weird ass?
You better pay me tomorrow, you little brat, or else you can get the hell out of my property. I've always had unsettling vibes from my landlord the day I moved in here, but unfortunately couldn't really do much, as the housing market for students around the area were either occupied or way over my budget.
Yeah.
As busy as I was with school, I was always a social butterfly at heart, and had a pretty decent following on my social media. I unfortunately didn't make any money online, but I did have about a couple hundred fans in my DMs and comment section, asking if I had an OnlyFans. I, of course, didn't own one, as I was always hesitant in encountering weirdos within the online world. I really didn't want to run into the risk of being recognized by any school colleagues or relatives for that matter, considering the internet was a large place where anything could be shared or screen recorded nowadays. At the time that this occurred, I was extremely eager to make any form of income without having to deal with the hassle of working a regular job, which is why I ultimately decided to sign up for an OnlyFans account. I decided to take a couple of provocative selfies of myself while wearing some outfits that I thought would be appealing to the rather large male audience I had accumulated through.
Ain't nobody want to see that. You know what they want to see, but they want to see you. They want to see if you can go ahead, split that shit open, and then they want to see if that shit, you know. Let me not even get into detail.
My years on social media. I even went as far to take self-portraits of myself in bed, using a professional camera I had owned from a while ago. I remember uploading the catalog of images on my profile while promoting it on my Instagram story, just to see if there was going to be any first-time buyers willing to see the other side of me. I made sure to hide the stories from my close relatives, especially my mother, as I didn't want them knowing I wanted to explore the mature side of myself, and that I wasn't solely depending on making a living using OnlyFans. I can recall it not even being 5 minutes yet, when I noticed a notification on OnlyFans. I then refreshed my homepage.
How much you want to bet is the landlord? I'm telling you right now, the first buyer got to be the landlord. Because if he is that thirsty to even, you see, he was running game in real life. He was trying to get that shit. But how much you want to bet is the landlord? It's definitely the landlord.
Only to see that I got my first paid subscriber. If I had to be honest, I was quite thrilled at the notion that anyone would be interested in me, or should I say my looks. I remember the user then sending a message saying, "Hey beautiful, happy to be your first OnlyFans sub." I typed,
Thank you. Let me know if you'd like to see more.
The user then playfully requested for several provocative pictures of myself wearing lingerie. I felt a little uncomfortable hearing such a request, but I knew in the back of my head that this was going to take some getting used to, especially if I wanted to pursue a potential career on OnlyFans. Regardless of who this person was, I decided to take the requested pictures in front of a mirror using my cell phone, then uploaded the images onto my laptop and charged the man a lump sum of $50 per photo. The man then responded,
Hold the hell on. $50 per photo? And you still have clothes on? You could just go on Instagram and get that shit for free.
"I want to be your one and only customer forever." I obviously found this a bit alarming, but casually brushed it off by telling the user I was going to go study, and that I was going to catch him later. I then made my way to the kitchen to make some instant noodles, while resuming the dreadful exam preparation I had procrastinated.
This bitch got no ass. Like, the way they drew her, whoever drew her, definitely did not fuck with her. This bitch got no nothing. Like, and you telling me there was a nigga out there paying for this? Hell nah.
I remember studying for at least a good 2 hours straight before calling it a night. I then headed back to my bedroom, only to notice my laptop was still open, and wanted to see if there was any further activity with my OnlyFans account. That's when I saw at least 100 unread messages coming from the same user that I had interacted with earlier. The messages varied from things like, "Where are you?" to, "Hello? I've been waiting for you for hours now," to really aggressive messages like, "Answer me, ho." This left me completely dumbfounded, as the user then seemed apologetic towards the end of the messages, as if he suffered from bipolar disorder. I honestly contemplated on blocking this guy, but as I scrolled through the messages, I noticed one of them offering to pay me $100 if I sent a video of myself crying on camera.
What the fuck is this nigga on? Yo, this nigga gets no hoes, and I see exactly why. What the fuck is this? $100 for a video of... Niggas be so, like, niggas, he def got money. Niggas got money and don't know what to do with it. Or, nah, niggas be weirdos having so much money and know all types of weird shit to do with it.
I couldn't tell if this guy was joking or if it was some sort of sick fish of his, but I decided to oblige as I really needed the money. I began to screen record a video of myself using my webcam, and began to force myself to cry by thinking of sad things like the death of my grandmother or the divorce of my parents, and how my dad left my mom hanging to be a deadbeat dad.
Damn, shit.
I eventually stopped
She just, damn.
the filming and sent the video to the user for a price tag of $100. About 5 seconds later, the user immediately sends another odd request, as if he disregarded my last video and was craving for more. The message read, "Can you stick your finger down your throat and vomit in a bucket? I'll pay you another $100.
What the hell? What a freaking weirdo.
This seemed extremely off-putting, but I felt as if I was obliged to do so, considering I was an extremely broke student and needed any kind of funds I could get my hands on. I decided to grab a large bowl from my kitchen cabinet while contemplating my conscious decision to do such a thing. As I sat in front of my laptop, I held
the thing is, like, I can't even be like call her weird or anything, because like she's broke as fuck. So like she would do anything to get this money, you know what I'm saying? And that's like a real hustler mentality, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do nothing this far. There's like a handful of things I'll do for some money, but this is something I don't know. This is crazy. I mean, this not this is crazy.
Bowl with one hand and stuck my index finger down my throat with the other, while simultaneously trying to regurgitate the instant noodles I had just eaten. Video with a price tag of $100. Again, the user instantly replies in a matter of seconds with another odd request.
Look at this nigga username, bro. Look at this nigga at Pervy Sage. And this is the nigga you want to make videos for.
His message read, "Cut a handful of your hair off using a knife, and I'll pay you $200.
Alright, he's not even okay. At this point, he's just trolling. Because if he was serious, he would have bought the other one and then bought the one before that. He's just demanding all these fucking requests. Mind you, this nigga has not sent not a single dime. And she's just sitting here doing this shit. Like, how are you doing this shit and you're not even thinking about something? Okay, if he's really serious, where the fuck my other money at? I should have like 200 right now.
I felt pretty hesitant at first, but as I digested the odd request, I thought it would be an easy $200, considering how I always wanted to get a haircut anyway. I responded with a stern, sure, BRB, as I went into the kitchen to grab a knife from one of the kitchen drawers. As I stared into the reflection of the blade, I began second-guessing myself, as the thought of sadistic...
And like, niggas be so broke, like, they will do anything, and she's just thinking like she just wants the money, you know, so she's just trying to do what she gotta do so that she can get this money. And imagine this nigga don't even pay her. I'm trying.
Practically tearing my hair off with a blade seemed very inhumane. I unfortunately allowed my stupidity to completely overcloud my judgment, as I ended up biting on a piece of cloth while raising my hair with one hand and then slowly cutting it off with the knife on my other hand. I remember trying my best not to make too much noise from my repugnant decisions, as the sheer distress from the back and forth carving of my hair left my scalp throbbing in an manner. I then shouted,
"There's your stupid video, you sick freak! You happy now? Huh? Huh?"
as I gestured a hand of my detached hair.
Why are you mad though? Because you didn't have to do that shit. You could have just blocked the nigga and just kept on moving.
That's when the user immediately responds with another sadistic request, saying, "Now, cut your finger off for another 200.
Alright, nah, nigga. Nah. This is when I go ahead, block this nigga, go ahead, try to see if I can find a drop on this nigga, and I'm finna go ahead. And she should already be thinking of sending 20 niggas to this nigga's house. If you ever find this nigga address, he made you do all this shit. Mind you, this nigga did not buy for the other stuff yet.
$100, basically telling him to go F himself, as I simultaneously block his account. I then went into the washroom and began to sit in the bathtub to reflect on my bizarre decisions and what possessed me to do such a thing. I could then hear my phone vibrating in the bathroom sink several times from the notifications set on my phone. As I got out of the shower, I checked my phone, only to see the notifications were from a user with the same profile name on Instagram. I could tell that the user was obviously a stalker, as he had no followers, but was following at least a couple hundred others. I then opened the user's messages, only to see screenshots and video footage of what transpired within our OnlyFans interaction. As I scrolled up, I noticed a lengthy message from the user asking me to bring a knife to an undisclosed location if I didn't want him to send this to anyone else, almost like I was getting taunted and blackmailed at the same time. I ended up accepting the user's messages and replying with a firm,
"I'm gonna sue you if you don't delete those images and videos."
He then responds with an image of my mother's Instagram and says, "Is this your mom's Instagram?" I then reply with,
"What the f***? Don't do it! I'm begging you!"
Already made your mistake. You admitted that's your mom's shit. number one, what you should have, I mean, you should have been making an OnlyFans to begin with, but if you already in this deep, you might as well just get to the 9. Don't even just start lying. Just be like, hell no, I don't know who the fuck that is. What the
Go to the park now.
Okay, fine, you win. I'm leaving right now, you freak.
That's when I tucked the knife underneath the band of my leggings and began to walk towards the park. I then texted the user for further instructions as I surveyed my surroundings of the park, only to see a homeless-looking individual laying on. That's when I get another text from the user saying, "Since you didn't want to cut your finger off, cut his, and I'll leave you alone." I then pulled out the knife and began to approach the homeless man. As I could see, he was completely passed out drunk from the empty alcohol bottle laying next to the bench he was sleeping on. As I cautiously approached the man, I began to elevate his pinky in midair with one hand while raising the knife with my other hand. I then swung the knife in one quick motion. That's when I ran back towards the main road as the man screamed in agony. I eventually made it back to my place and began panting in distress and exhaustion without making it obvious to the other individuals in the household that I had initially stepped out. I then abruptly got a call on my cell phone. I was a little hesitant to answer the phone, considering I had not given out any personal information to the user. As I pull out my phone, I can see that the call was surprisingly coming from my mom. I answered the phone and said,
Hello? What the hell is wrong with you, Sarah? Why would you do that? Why? Have you freaking lost your damn mind? You're all over the damn internet!
Bro, that shit crazy as fuck. Yo, niggas really don't get ass to the point where they got you doing. And I knew that he would do some weird ass shit like that, but we never knew who the fuck it could be.